All right, guys, give me a second. Need to really got to start like doing like I should probably work out before I do the podcast. One sec. Shit, these my notes. Hang tight. We'll get the podcast to start in a second. I just need to share this. So relax. Just a second. One sec. One sec. Okay. I think we're live on that. We're live on this. I need to shave. I think the beard's gonna have to go away for a couple weeks. It can grow back. It's getting itchy. That my nose hairs, man. Nasty. All right. You guys ready? I'm ready. Yet another glorious morning. Just like Joe Biden, I'm in my basement. I'm always in my basement. I get home and I'm confined. I'm confined. I'm confined to the basement to do the podcast in the morning. And you know what? I just mentioned Joe Biden. I'm kind of like Joe Biden. I bet you Joe doesn't get a lot of sleep or enough sleep. Because when I first wake up, which I do, I wake up about 4:45 and then I do the podcast about an hour and 15 minutes later. And as you can tell every morning, I'm still not awake. I can hardly talk. I can hardly make a sentence. I can't do enough research. And I wonder if that's the problem with Joe. Joe gets up. They probably wake him up minutes before he has to do a speech. They roll him out of the basement. They probably prop Joe up. They put him on a dolly. They roll him as close as they could possibly get him to the stage, and then they walk him out, and then he has no clue where he is and can't think and can't put together a good sentence, quite like me when I'm about to do America's podcast. When I prop up and I sit down and I'm about ready to do the podcast, I can't think, I can't talk, I'm hardly awake, bags under my eyes, old, dying. I'm hardly alive, bro. I'm hardly alive. Someone just asked me. I'm always wonder about how mass is a dem. Oh, all right. I thought you were asking me if I was a Democrat, bro. I was gonna throw my iPads and my computer, and I was gonna throw it across the room, and I was gonna smash them and break them up for that accusation. But clearly, you were not. Anyways, I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about today, but then I read an article. And now I'm not talking about anything except what I read in this article because it hits close to home and it really pisses me off. I love this columnist that writes the thing. It's called the Moneyist, and people reach out to this person for advice on money. And I want to get to that. And I also got the monkeys. We're getting to the monkeys. I can't stand the monkey people, and we have to get to the monkeys and why the monkeys are so important to us, why we need the monkeys, and why people need to stop acting like they give a crap about animals. Because if they do, then I want people to stop eating animals. If you're someone that's like, yep, I care about animals, then put down the meat. Put it down. There's no humane way to kill an animal. There is not. I want you to sit and think and say, oh, there's no humane to kill a human, therefore there is no humane way to kill a fucking animal. And we'll get to that. But first, this is Spazzing Out, America's podcast. Normally, we would go heavy politics, but I got two things that I want to talk about, and I'm fucking talking about them, and that's it. We could talk about Bob Ulinsky or Ulowski. He was on Tucker last night. Of course, I love Tucker. I'm probably the only one in my neighborhood that watches Fox News, but I love Tucker. And he had that interview with that guy, but we can't get into that because of the monkeys. I can't get into it because of the monkeys. Anyways, we do the podcast 5 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings. I try to go on about 6 o'clock. Now, when I do it, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube. If you're watching on any of those, like my pages, retweet, share, let everybody know that Spazzing Out America's podcast is happening. Most of you listen on an app. Most of you are listening to the podcast after I record it in your car, in your kitchen. You're listening on Google Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartMedia. You're asking Alexa, hey, Alexa, play Spazzing Out America's podcast. That's how you're listening. 600 downloads a day once it gets posted. Again, we have to do better than that. I need your help. We got to get to 2,500 for it to mean shit. We have to get it there. It must get there. Now, I need to get into this because it really burned me. So I get up and I'm doing my research, and I like to look to see what's happening today. I check to see if Joe is in the basement. Was he in the basement yesterday or not? I'm trying to figure out how many days Joe doesn't campaign. And then I like to see what Trump did for the day. And then I like to see what bombshell news has happened. For example, I read an article about a city that's been shut down for 3 months and how it devastated the city and the economic problems that came with it on top of what happened with coronavirus. And then I watched last night the Tucker Carlson interview with Boblowski, however you say it. And I'm like, all right, maybe I should talk about that. And then I'm like, oh, well, should we talk about Rudy Giuliani? Giuliani came out and said some stuff about Borat 2. I saw the movie. Sacha Baron Cohen came out and talked about it. And then I'm like, wait a second. I start reading the story and I'm like, I got to talk about this because I can't stand people. And this is a huge, and the reason I want to talk about it, it's a huge problem in this fucking country that guys don't have balls anymore. It's a huge problem that dudes just allow themselves to be put into a cage and don't have a nutsack, that they don't stick up for themselves, that they don't have balls. My wife, she's got fucking balls, bro. My wife's got the biggest balls on the planet. You can never back this woman into a corner. She will come right at you. And I love it. And I'm the same way. Her and I butt heads all the time because neither of us are giving an inch. But yet we do. We care about each other. We love each other. But neither of us are giving up. We sure, eventually we come to a mutual compromise for positive outcomes. I'm all about positive outcomes. But either way, we both want to feel like we won. And guys that have no nuts, from the dad to the son, are fucking this country. And I'm going to explain to you why. I read this article this morning. I have to talk about it. It's like spilt milk. It's more important than any political topic we have going on, because if this shit happens at home, then we're all fucked. It's over. It's when guys don't stick up for themselves, when guys don't have nuts, what happens is other countries sit back and they laugh and they're like, ha, ha, we're like one generation away from going into America and not having to say shit and just being like, yeah, we're taking over. And all the men that have been turned into pussies, all the men that have been turned into little bitches by their dads, don't fight, don't push back, don't do nothing. They just become subservient. They say, oh yeah, all right, great. Here, yes, take over. You guys, we don't even want to fight because we're fucking pussies. So this dad, it starts with the dad. This dad reaches out for advice to the moneyest. The moneyest it's a column where people ask for advice about money and relationships. The story involves dad and his son, and then the son's fiance, not married yet, fiance. Dad goes to them and says, I'd like to give my son a $30,000 gift for a down payment, for a down payment on a home. I'd like to give my son 30 grand to put a down payment on a home. Now, this home, of course, will eventually become the home of the couple, because they are going to get engaged. They're going to get married. The wife, or the soon-to-be wife, of course, the soon-to-be lazy, bitchy, freaking douche wife, the hag, says, well, yeah, okay, that's great, Mr. Soon-to-be father-in-law, but I want a written document. This is brazen. I want a written document, this lady says, this fiance, I want a written document that says if we break up and don't get married, and if we get married and get divorced, that I want half of the gift. Now, she's not even talking about the house. She's talking about the down payment part of it. She wants it to be on record that she wants 15 grand and the son can keep the other 15 grand. And here's the best part about it. The loving son, the pussy son, is like, oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm all for it. I'm no problem. I'm gonna give $15,000 of my dad's hard-earned money to fucking you. After you leave me, after you bounce out on me, my dad gave me, bro. My fucking dad's dead. The money my dad gave me is gone. I invested in a take junk. No one's getting a fucking dime of my dad's money. I will fight you to the fucking end. My father was a hardworking American. The guy came from fucking Italy. He migrated here the right way, became an American. You couldn't tell this dude was you. There's no fucking way you would know my father was Italian. None whatsoever. The guy spoke perfect American, and I call it American because this is America. We don't live in fucking England. We live in America. The guy speaks perfect American. He had no accent. Sounded like he was from here. He assimilated. And to tell the difference, my uncle, who I love, my Uncle Ralph, the guy's been here for like fucking 80 years. Sounds like he just got off the boat. But my dad assimilated, became a hardworking American, worked his ass off, and I'd be damned if any of my dad's money went to fucking anybody else but where the guy wanted it to go. So that's the first issue. And now let me get to the point. I agree on the other side. Kaylee, hardworking. She works her ass off. As a matter of fact, this woman worked so goddamn hard in her 20s that she was able to save a lot of money to put a massive down payment on the house that we currently live in. I will never touch that money. Ever, ever, ever. She never brings it up. She doesn't come at me and say, hey, that's my money. I'm telling you right now on the goddamn record, you could use this shit in court. If something ever happened between her and I, which it won't. Why? Because we have a strong relationship, because we fight, but we fight for each other, because we have balls. I would never touch it. Ever, ever, ever. Right here. I'll say it right here. If something were ever to happen, but it won't, I will never, ever try or want to touch the money that was put down as a down payment on this property. It belongs to Kaylee. She worked her ass off. It is her money. I didn't do the work. I didn't know her when she fucking made the money. Well, I guess I knew her halfway through, but still, none of it's mine. It's hers. And anybody that would think otherwise is a lazy ass fuck. But that's not the problem. The problem is more we'll get to the real problem. That you're asking for the money is a scumbag move. The fact that this fiance is saying, yeah, I want 15 of that $30,000 from the gift from your dad should be a red flag, bro. Here, let me give you some advice, bud. Your soon-to-be fiance wants half of your dad's money before you guys get married. Run. Let me say that again. Run, bro. Get the fuck out. Here, fuck the moneyist. It's the Pazialiest. Get the fuck out. Bounce. Any type of scumbag that would do that ain't worth a shit. You need to get the hell out of there. Second, the dad, this is where pussy turns to pussy. So the dad must be a pussy because he gives his son pussy advice, and then he's a pussy and he goes for advice from the moneyist. And the moneyist is all for giving the 15 grand to the woman. Of course the moneyist is. It's fucking garbage. So dad up top, if I were dad, I would say straight up, I'd say, all right, guys, this is how it's going to go. I have a daughter. So let's say my daughter is going to get married, or she wants a house, she wants a down. You know what? We'll use Kaylee's dad, Steve Lombardo. Great guy, worked his ass off his entire life. He's a union guy, hardworking American. Listen, Steve, hardworking dude, up early, worked, kicked ass for many years, now enjoying his retirement down in Florida like he should. Good fucking solid dude, helps me out a lot. But let me tell you, Steve's got nuts. The guy has never, and he's pretty upfront about it. And he straight up said to me one day, he goes, you'll get nothing. He's like, he straight up told me, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but if I die, you're getting nothing. He's like, I'll fucking give everything to Presley before I gave a dime to you. Steve likes me. It's not that he doesn't like me. He cares about me. Trust me. We have good times. We drink when he comes. We drink. He likes my kids. The guy's a great fucking guy, but he has nuts and he doesn't mince words with people. He straight up was like, yeah, I didn't work my entire life to give you my money. I worked my entire life so that I could enjoy it in retirement. And then when I retire, I can give it to my only child, my daughter, and then she can give it to her to my granddaughter, Presley. This shit ain't for you. So your name ain't gonna be on anything. Sure, you get to get some enjoyment from it. I got the Pazzi South. Steve's got a house down in Florida. Sure as shit. What, maybe someday I'll get to live down there. But I'll never, ever, 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 ever try to take it. I will never sue for it. I will never claim that it is mine. I mean, I'll joke around like it is mine, but I will never make a brazen attempt to have documents signed to steal money from a man that worked his ass off. And I love the fact, and Kaylee's always like, oh, you hate my dad that he said that. I'm like, no, I love it. I wish there were more guys like Steve that just came out straight up and had balls and were just like, hey, hell no. I didn't work in the union my entire life to give your boyfriend, to give your husband, to give your fiance half of my shit. Hell no, he ain't getting it. It isn't happening. So there, the dad, the father in this story agrees, right? So the father in the story says, you know what? I'm just going to give you guys the $30,000. You do what you want with it. And then the son, because he doesn't want to piss off the soon-to-be wife, is okay with it. And then the moneyist agrees that they should sign a document and give this lady right to half of it. Bro, it is the craziest thing I have ever heard in my entire fucking life. Craziest thing. And this is why it's crazy, because guys don't have a nutsack. Because dudes, it's bad for America. And women should have balls too. It is bad for America that people in general don't say what they feel. People in America hold things back. And this is the perfect example in this story. The dad wants to give the son $30,000 so that he can put a down payment on a house. The son's soon-to-be wife wants documentation that if they break up, that if they get divorced, that she gets half of the down payment, right? Not enough that if they live together and they make the mortgage payment together, that she would get half of the equity of the house. She wants half of dad's money. If I was dad, I wouldn't give him the money. And now I'm going to flash to years down the road. I have a daughter. She's going to get married someday. And I'm going to tell her son, just like Steve Lombardo fucking told me, I'm going to say, hey, I didn't work my ass off at Take Junk. I didn't try to save my company. And I'm going to be like, hey, little shit. What were you doing during 2020, during the pandemic? What were you doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. You were fucking 5 or 6 years old, bro. You know what I was doing? I was working my ass off trying to save my small business. You know, the company that I'm now giving to my son and to my daughter. You ain't getting a fucking piece of it, bro, because I work my ass off. It ain't happening. You can work here, you can make benefits from it, sure thing, but you will never, ever, ever get your greasy ass fingers on my shit, because it's a Pazzi family, and if you don't fucking like it, bye. And I expect my daughter to say the same thing. I expect my daughter to have balls and say to the guy, say, yeah, hey, this is my dad's, and my dad's giving it to me, and I'm giving it to my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' kids, and you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting 15 fucking grand for fucking my son. That bitch better be a goddamn good fuck if she's gonna get 15 grand. Think about that. She did shit. What the fuck is wrong with this country where you do nothing, you lay on your goddamn back, you take the dick, and you think you get 15 grand? No. It would piss me off to all ends. And the dad is the problem. The father is the problem because he's okay with it. He has given his son the okay to be a pussy. I don't give the okay to be a pussy. Do not give the okay. There is no, oh, it's okay to be a pussy. It's not. It's not okay. You need to stick up for yourself. You need to respect yourself. It all starts, listen, it all freaking starts with something that nobody in this country has. It's called self-esteem. It's called caring about yourself. It's called believing in you before other people. And it's also called, I don't want someone to be butthurt. They're going to be mad at me. Tough shit. Tough fucking shit. I want you to sit now to the son and to the dad. I don't know how the dad doesn't think this. To the dad and the son giving out the monies. Think about how much of your life. Here's the son. Let's take the son, because my old man's gone. So let's say it's me, and my dad's giving me 30 fucking grand. And if someone thinks they're getting half of it, it ain't happening. But okay, I want you to think about how long and hard your dad had to work to save $30,000. How many hours away? How many hours of his life? You know how I am. If you buy something for 20, 25 bucks, $30, that's an hour of my life. 1 hour of my life. So when someone's watching Netflix Prime or Disney Plus, I sit back and I say, I hope you enjoyed consuming a half hour of my life so that you could watch Disney Plus today. I hope you enjoyed consuming a half hour of my life so you could have pizza, because that's what it is. That's what you do for work. The time that you work, it's money, and then motherfuckers eat it, or they watch it, or they shower with it, or they fucking piss on it, or they wipe their ass with it. When they use toilet paper, bro, they're literally wiping hours away from your fucking life. So I would say that to the kid. And then I would say to him, I say, hey, you see that 15 grand you're just going to dust? You're just going to be cool giving away dad's life, hours, months, years of your father's life because you're a pussy? Nope. Nope, I wouldn't do it. As a matter of fact, bro, I would give all the money back. I would say, you know what, man? Give me 5 minutes with my dad. Give me 2 seconds with my old man. I'll give all the fucking money back. That's how you need to look at it. It's a respect thing. The people in other countries laugh at us. You know why they laugh at us? Because they're like, look at these pussy ass Americans. Look at them. They sit back. They're fucking pissed off because monkeys are fucking, they're upset because monkeys climb up trees and pick coconuts. So now they don't want to drink coconut milk. You guys are pussies. It's disgusting. This country will get fucking taken over in the snap of a finger because of all the bitch ass dads that don't want to be tough on their kids and all the bitch ass moms that don't want to be tough on their kids. It's disgusting. You're raising a generation of bitch ass kids. And when you raise bitch ass kids, you turn into a bitch ass country. And then another country comes walking in and says, we're taking over. There is no fight. There is no drive. There is no want to be successful. There is nothing. Just pussies. And it's driving me nuts. And it starts with this guy right here who's like, well, I worked my ass off my entire life for $30,000. And I wanted to give it to my son as a gift. But, you know, I guess if his wife wants half of my hard-earned money, no big deal. Nope. So I should write. I'm going to write to the fucking moneyest, or I'm going to send this to this person. And I'm going to say, how dare you give advice to a man other than be a man? Your advice, the moneyest advice to this dad should say straight up, balls. Have some balls. I got that. You know what? That lesson was taught to me time and time and time again as I was growing up by my dad, remember when coaches, football coaches, baseball coaches. If I imagine I played baseball, I hate baseball, but that was before I went to high school. So remember, football coaches had balls. Wrestling coaches definitely had fucking balls. Track coaches had balls. I ran track. My track coach had a set of balls, and they would teach. And remember when teachers had nuts? And the whole time they were hard on you. My gym teacher threw fucking keys at me. This motherfucker. I did something. He got me into the bathroom. He chucked a set of keys at my nutsack. It was like, Pazziali, if you do that again, I'm going to bounce your ass out of school. And all I did was swear. Obviously, it didn't work. I swear all the time. But all that's gone. And now what we do here in America is we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to upset anybody. We don't want them to be butthurt. Because we want them to like us. We need people to like us. We need friends. Bro, show me your friends and I will show you your future. Show me your father and I will show you your future. If your dad is a bitch ass, you're going to be a bitch ass. If your friends are bitch asses, you're going to be a bitch ass. You should only give a shit about you and how you feel. Of course, you care about your wife and your kids and things like that, but you can't be scared to hurt their feelings. You need to tell people straight up how it is. And this is how it is. If I get 30 grand and I want to give it to my son or my daughter, they're getting the money and I'm going to, and if they won't do it what I want, then I will do it. I will say, you pick a house. Dad owns 30% of the house. I'm going to put down the 30 grand or whatever the percentage is. I'll put down the 30 G's. When you guys sell this house, I'm getting my 30 grand back. How's that? You guys want to play fuck? I just tell them straight like that. I go, you want to play fuck? Fine. Plain and simple. You got two options. I'm not giving you the money, Second option, when you go to buy that house, my name's on the damn house. Just like that, I'll get my money back. You ain't splitting it. Third option, what my dad would do, the very last, the right option, my father would just look at me, stand pause. He'd be like, he'd just look at me with that look like of offense. When I asked my dad for money, the guy looked offended. You would think that it is an absolute offended. You would think that when you ask Stan for money, you would think that it was a criminal. It was a felony. Literally, the guy. When you ask my dad for money, you would think that you have just committed a mortal sin. The look on the guy's face was like, "Did you just fucking ask me for money? Did you ask me?" That was the first thing, like straight up, like just that look, like, "What? You're gonna come to me for money?" Because he was offended of the fact that one, he worked his ass off for that money. And if you think you're going to get his hard-earned money for something stupid, not happening. Second of all, he wanted you to work. He'd be like, yeah, get out of here, work. So this is what if I went to my dad, I was like, hey, Dad, I need a down payment on a house. My father would be like, you better get a job. You better get, he'd just look at me and be like, yeah? Oh, you want a down payment on a house? You better start saving. You want a down payment on a house? You better get a better job. You want to get a second job. Just like that. Like when I was a kid, I told this story 100 times. When I was a kid, and my father, I got my, I forget my car. I wanted a car. My buddy John got a car. I came up. My dad's like, so I guess you want a car now? I'm like, yeah. And my father's like, you better get a job then. Straight up, he's like, you better go get a job, and you'll buy your car yourself. Period. Just like that. Done. I got a job. I got a job working at McDonald's. And I went to my dad, and it was either McDonald's or Papa Gino's. I worked at both around the same time. So I went to my father, and I was like, hey, Dad, I got great news. I got a job. My dad's like, oh, great. I'm like, I start today. He's like, you do? What time you got to be there? It's like 4:30. I needed to be there at 5. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta be there at 5. It's like a 2-hour shift. Maybe it was 4 to 7. It was after practice. So whatever fucking time it is, it doesn't matter. And I said, yeah, I got to be there. Can you give me a ride? My father starts laughing. He's like, you got a half hour to get your ass over there. I'm like, what? You can't drop me off? He's like, no. My father didn't even drive me. He was like, yeah, now you got a job? Well, now you got to fucking get there. Just like that. And the shit was on the other side of Woburn. And at the time, I didn't have a bike, so I had to fucking walk. I remember cutting through Horn Pond and cutting through the damn fucking, yeah, it was Papa Gino's, and cutting through the golf course. Barely made it there on time. I had to run half the way there. That's how you do it. That's how you build men. That's how you get balls. You look at your fucking kid in the face and you say, oh, you want money? Get a fucking job. Oh, you want a car? You better save. Oh, now you have a job? Get your ass to work. And how did that play out for me? I'm going to tell you how it played out for me. Plain and simple. My dad did that to me when I was 16 and a half. My father taught me that no one is going to do anything for you but yourself. As I got older, I'm about I'm 19 years old. I'm going to school at UMass Lowell. I live at the fraternity house. I have a truck. I had bought a truck the year before. It's a Ford Ranger. I got a job working at WRKO overnights. Overnight, I used to work. So I would go to school during the day. I did foundations in the afternoon. And then I would go do RKO overnights. I would do it fucking 5 times a week at least. Sometimes on Saturdays. So I got into a car accident. It totaled my truck. I didn't have a truck anymore. What do you think I did? What do you think I did? Did I call my dad and say, Dad, I just started this radio career. I need a ride to fucking Boston every day? No. Do you think I asked my buddy? I live with one of my best friends, Jeff Garvey. For a fucking year, I lived there. And none of these motherfuckers knew that I was walking every fucking day to the train station. And the train station from where I lived, it was about a goddamn hour walk there. And it was an hour walk back. And no one knew about it. I just fucking did it. I walked to the train. I had to leave extra early so I could get there. Not only did I leave extra early, I got to the shift a fucking hour early. So it almost dusted 3 hours of my day, which I needed because I did overnights. I went to fucking school during the day. Then I would do, I guess at that point the foundations were over. But the school all day fucking long. And then I would walk back. And then one day it was fucking raining and I was walking. And my buddy Gavi saw me. And then that night he goes, he's like, hey, he goes, do you walk to the fucking train every day? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you want to ride? I'm like, no, I don't want to ride. A kid, he's like, I drive by there, I'll just drop you off. I go, no, I don't want to ride. I go, the second that you give me a ride is the second that I give in to me having control of my life. The second that you help me out is the second that I don't help myself out. You have to take care of yourself in tough times, because when good times come, it'll make it all that much easier. And that's what my dad did for me at 16. At 16, my old man was like, you want something bad enough, you'll fucking do it. If you're fucking hungry, you'd eat shit. Period. Anyways, I went on a huge rant for no reason. Well, no, there was big reason. Read an article from this columnist, The Moneyist, and the story was that a dad is going to give his son $30,000, and his girlfriend, fiance, soon-to-be wife, wanted a document saying that she would be entitled to half of that, half of the $30,000, not the house. She's going to get half of the house, of course she would, but and I was just saying that it upsets me to no end that people don't have nuts to say how they really feel. The father doesn't want that to happen. The dad is like, yeah, I don't want this to happen, but he's going to let it happen. He needs to tell his son, and this is the problem. Dads aren't honest with their sons. Therefore, their sons aren't honest with their sons. The cycle goes on, and people don't want to hurt people's feelings. They don't want to say things. And what you do is you fuck up your future because you don't want to be honest with somebody, right? Because you don't have the balls. You don't have the guts to step up and say something. Your hard-earned money's going to be gone, and that's what's going to happen to this guy. This dad should just come up and straight up say, "Nope, I'm not giving you guys the money." I already said it. I'm quite in that kind of situation. Quite in that situation. My lovely lady, she worked her ass off her entire life, saved up a lot of money to put a down payment on the house that we're living in. I'll never take that money and touch it from her. She'd give it to me in a heartbeat. She fucking loves me that much. She would, but I'd never take it from her. I'd never ask for it ever. Ever. And maybe if I'm in a fight or if we get into a beef, I'll say stupid shit because I'm an idiot. I mean, look at me, dude. I look like a truck fucking hit me. I look like an idiot. But she worked for it hard, real fucking hard. And I would never ask for that. Ever in a million years would I ever put somebody in that situation, because it's my job to work hard. That's it. I would never do it. So, and if you don't want that done to you, you have to say something. All right, we got to move on from this. I got to go to work. Last thing, real quick, we got to talk about the monkeys. I'm obsessed with the monkeys, and I'm obsessed with the monkey people. We have a problem here in the United States. You know what? This goes right into the last story we talked about. We have a problem here in the United States where we feel bad for everything. We feel bad for everybody, including animals, but yet we're hypocrites. Most of the people in this country eat meat. Most of us are eating meat. Not everybody here is a vegan. There are way more meat eaters, carnivores in the United States than there are green eaters, okay? And by green, I mean leafy green, leaves and kale and shit that bitches eat. You eat cows. If you eat a burger, I don't want to hear you bitch about the monkeys. If you eat chicken, don't bitch about the monkeys. If you eat fish, don't bitch about the monkeys. You eat anything that needs to be killed, I don't want to hear you bitch about the monkeys. And I don't want to hear if they kill them in a humane way. There is no humane way to kill anything. If you are killing something, it's not humane. Why don't you ask, well, you can't because they're dead, a human that has been, let's say some guy's been put to death, and they do it the most humane way they can by shooting the guy up. Well, the guy's dead, so there's no humane way to kill someone. He's fucking dead. So when they kill the cow, no matter how they do it, this is what I love about Americans. You go to the grocery store, you buy meat, and you forget about the fact that the slaughterhouse, we like to tuck the slaughterhouses away in the middle of nowhere because, you guys killed a cow and you're eating veal? That's a baby cow, bro. I had veal the other day. I love baby cow. I love it. I'll fucking slice baby cows' necks all day long for veal. I love it. Veal is mad good, bro. My neighbors made it. It's bomb. Now, my grandfather, this guy used to kill the goat. Kill the lamb. I seen my grandfather slit a lamb's fucking throat when I was a kid. He chopped the heads off of eels. This dude was like, yep, I'm going to eat and I'm going to kill what I fucking eat because I'm a man. Now, here in the United States, we're very civil. We don't want to see things get killed. We don't want to know how the cows and the goats and if you're eating goat, man, it's gross. Goats, chickens, how they get slaughtered. We want to act like free. Oh, they're free range. Yeah, bro. They you know what free range means? It means that that there's no gate to the cage that they're in. There's thousands of them all. Oh, what are they doing to the chickens? Shut up. You eat them. So I don't want to hear it. So here's what I'm going to disqualify 90% of the people with this conversation. If you eat meat, I don't want to hear about how you want things to be done humanely. That's it. You're out of the conversation. Now, if you're someone that has decided that you ain't going to eat meat, any meat whatsoever, and no harm to animals, then maybe I'd listen to you and I'd say, all right, you know what? Give me your side of the story. Let me hear how you feel about the monkeys. Tell me about the monkeys, because you are committed to absolutely not hurting anything except for leafy greens. Then I'd let you talk. But if you eat anything from an animal, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. And if you're going to bitch about the monkeys, I'm taking your meat away. If I'm going to sit down to dinner with you and you're going to talk, we're going to get to what happened to the monkeys, and you're going to talk about how you feel bad from the monkeys, I'm going to slap the fucking burger out of your hand and I'm going to take it and say, bro, you don't get any meat. You get no meat. No meat if you feel bad for the monkeys. So Costco, Walgreens, Stop and Shop have decided to take off multiple brands of coconut milk. Well, first off, I don't drink coconut milk. I don't know who the hell's drinking coconut milk. It sounds like it's mad expensive. Absolutely, I'm not drinking it. I bet you my wife drinks coconut milk. I don't know. I don't. I drink red cap milk from cows right here in the United States of America. Fucking Gorelick Farms. I don't even know where it is, but they got a plant up here in Lynn. I don't know if they have cows inside that building or not, or where the damn milk comes from. I don't really care. Milk those titties until they're goddamn dry, because I'm atop of the food chain and I want all the red cap milk I can drink, especially with that fluffernutter I had last night. Check out that video. I did a video. It's on my Instagram. I had a beast-ass fluffernutter. Although I had to make it with crunchy peanut butter. I like smooth peanut butter better, but is what it is. So they've decided to stop selling certain coconut milks. Why? Because in Thailand, allegedly, the Thai people have enslaved monkeys to pick coconuts. For this is a PETA spokesperson that says, no, this is fucking great. No kind shopper wants monkeys to be chained up and treated like coconut picking machines. No kind shopper wants monkeys to be chained up and treated like coconut picking machines. When I hear stuff like that, it drives me bonkers, and I want to get in touch with this person, Peter, and I want to say, excuse me. Did you know that before there were machines, that they used to tie plows to oxes, and the oxes would plow the field? Did you know that horses used to carry people places? Did you know that they used to put a heavy ass carriage behind a horse, and the horse would have to drag it? Did you know that donkeys in third world countries carry shit luggage around for people? Do you know there's fucking camels? Do you know that animals have been used for labor since the fucking beginning of time? And the most important thing to realize here, do you know that we are the most dominant species on the planet? And if we want to fucking make a monkey climb up a tree so that we don't have to get coconuts, we're going to. We are the top dog. We're the king of the jungle. We're the fucking lion. And by the way, do you eat meat? Because if you do, you're out of this conversation. Anybody that works at PETA that eats meat should be fired immediately, because they're hypocrites. And I hope someday, I swear to God, I hope some fucking day that this podcast blows up big so that I can go on TV with someone from PETA and say that to him. I just want to straight up, I would just nice and calm. I sit back and I say, do you eat meat? And they'd be like, well, you know, they nicely, like, oh man. I'd say like, oh, I had a steak last night. Do you, what's your favorite steak? And then they would go into it, and then I'd say, shut up. You're fired. Nobody, I would just go nuts. I'd say, because they had to kill the cow, period. Plain and simple. No humane way to kill a cow. Shut up. You're a hypocrite. Bounce. Everybody that works at PETA should be a goddamn vegetarian, or whatever the leafy green eaters, whatever the hell, they're vegans. So Stop and Shop, Costco, Walgreens, they're not going to sell this product anymore because they're upset that these Thai people force monkeys to climb up a tree to knock the coconuts down. Sounds like smart labor to me. Sounds like a way to keep the cost of goods down. Sounds like an efficient way to use an animal like what's the difference between a cow and a monkey? What's the difference between a pig and a monkey? What's the difference between an ox and a monkey, a horse and a monkey? Nothing. They're animals. We're the top dogs, and if we want to send the monkeys up the tree to get something, we're gonna send the fucking monkeys up the tree. I wish I had a monkey. It'd be damn great if I had a monkey down here and I could send it upstairs to go get me a fucking Captain of Coke. I'm like, monkey, go get me a goddamn Captain of Coke right now. And if Peter came here to my house, I'd be like, bro, you know what's great? After fucking 3 months, I'm gonna eat the thing. I'm gonna eat it. Everybody, you know what? They should do that. Every kid should have an animal that they have to raise, feed, and love, and then the dad should kill it, and you should eat that shit for dinner to teach people a lesson that we are the top dogs here, and we will fucking eat whatever we have to eat, and we will force fucking strenuous labor on animals if we have to. It's ridiculous. And then this just ties right into the vaccines where people get pissed. Again, I'll say this. If you have a monkey, donate it to the United States. The United States has a shortage on monkeys because they've been testing the shit out of them. They test like 30,000 monkeys a year. They're already through the 30,000 monkeys. They need more monkeys. There's a shortage on monkeys. I'm not even kidding. This is not a joke. This is no tinfoil hat conversation. The zoos should donate their monkeys. And if you happen to have a monkey, you should donate it to the CDC, or you should donate it to a company like Azkabanazan. I didn't say that right. Or Johnson & Johnson, because they need to find a cure. They need to find a vaccine for the coronavirus, and they need monkeys to do that shit. So do the American thing and donate your monkey. Absolutely donate your monkey. But it's just to wrap up that conversation. I get upset with the monkey people because they're the same people that they're hypocrites. I listen, I don't get into it with people that live the lifestyle. Like, I mean, if you are a true, tried, don't eat meat type of person, and you want to have a conversation with me about the meats and about the monkeys and about how it's awful that what happens to them, I'll listen to you, man. I'll sit back and I'll say, you don't do this shit, then I can listen to you. But if you come to me with your hypocritical bullcrap while you're eating a burger and you want to talk about how you feel bad about the monkeys, I'm just going to tell you to shut up. Not to mention the fact that you all go out and you buy clothing from stores. This is the greatest part here. This is the best. Where Americans, we care about the monkeys. Well, we're not going to eat coconut milk, but we're going to wear Nike, or allegedly Nike run sweatshops. I don't know if that's fact or not, but we're going to wear clothing that's made by 5-year-olds, and we don't give a shit about the humans, but don't fuck with the monkeys. Don't fuck with the monkeys. He's going to work so that he can give his kid $30,000 so he can split it with his fucking hag-ass wife. That's fantastic. All right, I got to go to work. I have to go to work so that someday I can give my son or my daughter a lot of money and then have them balllessly give half that money to their significant other. Thank you so much for listening to America's Podcast.